Today, after you log into your JDocs instance, we're going to show you how to adapt an AIssisted Planning integrator job to a custom database. First, we're going to need to install the planning package, so go into My Models and click Install from File, then choose the package and go ahead and choose the global instance here and click Next. Here are the details of the package, and go ahead and click Next again. Here you'll just want to click Finished and allow the script to be loaded and executed. Then go ahead and click Close. If everything has been installed correctly, you should see in My Models the AIssisted Planning model with all of the different parts of the model in, for instance, the integrator job and the reports as well. Okay, but today we're going to actually adapt this integrator job to a custom database. So what that means is we need to find a custom database to use. So let's go ahead and go to Marketplace, and we'll choose the JDocs pre-built model profit and loss. Go ahead and click Install and input your information and click Install again. We're also going to install this globally and go ahead and install the data as well, of course, and accept the agreement. Finally, click Finish to allow the model to be installed. Keep the database name and wait for the scripts to be loaded and executed. Go ahead and click Close. All right, go to My Models, and you will see that there is a new model installed, the profit and loss model. If you go into Modeler and look at the database of planning models, you can see the profit and loss cube and look at its dimensions. It has 6 dimensions. However, the integrator job, if you go up into the AIssisted models, runs on the sales cube here, and that has 7 dimensions. So we will now need to adapt it. The profit and loss model comes with the pre-built time dimension. You can see that here, and it's called month. It only has years and data from 2017, however. And so we need more years and more data. And we can do that first by going to the time editor and drop that back to 2015. Keep everything else the way it is, extend the dimension here, and click Update the Dimension, which will bring up a window that tells us the dimension has been updated successfully. Now we will need to put some data into the years we added, so go up to Report Designer and create a new spreadsheet and open it. You can do here a simple paste view. Go ahead and select the correct database here with planning models and profit and loss, and then drag months into the rows area and measures into the columns area. Then go ahead and select for legal entity 11. This is just for this example. And with currency, go ahead and choose local currency. And then go to our version. And we should focus on actual here. And then let's go into month and select 2015 to 2018. Go ahead and click OK. And in the measures dimension, let's focus here on input. Click OK and click Paste. So now we have the years here, but we still need to fill them with data. So first off, go ahead and copy 2017 into 2016, and then you want to subtract 12%. Now go ahead and in the 2015 area, copy 2016 and reduce that by 10%. And let's go back to 2018. In the months, you can see here we only have data through June. So go down to the July year to go and copy the 2017 July year to go value. Then go ahead and increase that by 5%. So now we have all of our data. Now we are prepared, at least from the data side, but what we need now in our database are some more elements in the versions dimension where we can store predicted values. And we have an integrator job for that. And this is in the loop job called Preset Static Input Update Database. This will set elements and update your database. It will specifically update the versions dimension here, and you can change that name if you need to. It will also add an accuracy dimension as well as an accuracy cube. However, before we run the job, we have to tell the project on which database we'd like to work. So go ahead and go into the extracts, into the constant table variables preset, and here we will enter in this information. The system connection stays the same. The system database, however, needs to change to planning models. Go ahead and save that. And go back to the loop job area and start this preset static input database job. If it's completed successfully as shown here in the monitor, go ahead to the modeler and check the elements within the version dimension. And now you can see we've got that prediction upper and lower, etc. that we need. We also have the new accuracy dimension with all of our algorithms here. And if you look at the cubes, you can see we have a new accuracy cube with the one dimension here. So everything looks good. These were the preparations for the customization. Now we will start to adapt the actual integrator job to the new database. That's here, and let's go ahead just for fun and start a timer to see how long this will take. Remember, you're going to want to choose the forecast adaptable integrator job for 3 dimensions, and that is because the profit and loss cube has 3 dimensions in addition to its special dimensions, which are the version and also the time and the measures dimension. Let's have a quick look at that in the profit and loss cube. Again, the version, time, and the measure dimension are all here, and we have an extra 3 dimensions, which is why we should choose the integrator job for 3 dimensions when we want to adapt it to a custom database, because we can see here in the sales planning cube that we have, in addition to the 3 special dimensions, we have 4. So we need to make a change. So to begin, we are going to have to set all of our variables of our integrator job to the new database. So let's go again to the extracts and the CT variables preset. And again, that connection will stay the same. And we changed the database already, but we need to change the source cube from, let's see, the AIssisted Planning had it as planning, sales planning, and we need to change that to profit and loss. Go ahead and apply that. Next dimension, the special dimension here, is our time dimension, which is month. And let's have a look here. What is the dimension we need? Again, it's month, so we don't need to make any changes there. So let's have a look at our special dimension version, which is in this case named version. And if we look in the profit and loss cube, it is also named version. No need to make a change there. With our special dimension measure, we have sales planning measure. And in this case, we have profit and loss measure. So let's go ahead and make that change here. And make sure it's spelled correctly and identical, and hit apply. Next we will go to our regular dimension 1, and that is our legal entity. So that's the same, so we can go ahead and leave that as is. Our regular dimension 2 in this case is currency, so we will need to change that from article to currency and go ahead and apply that. Our final dimension in this case is our P&L account. So let's change customer to P&L account. Make sure that those are spelled correctly and in the correct order. If any of these have different names, go ahead and change them. Click Save. All right. So now that we've defined the structure of our new database for our integrator job, we need to make sure everything works correctly. So let's focus on these two extracts in the cube extracts, source, which has all of our input values, and target values, which creates the areas where we can place our prediction values and outlier values and so on. To get a data preview for these, we will need to update the variables according to our new cube. So under the variables DB dimension 1, we have legal entity, which is correct. Then in dimension 2, we're going to have to change article again to currency, as we did before. Dimension 3, we'll have to change from customer to P&L accounts. And go ahead and click Save. And let's go down to measure, and we'll need to make that change again to profit and loss measure. We'll need to double check that spelling here. There we go. And click Save. Next, let's take a look at time. That's correct. Version is also correct. So we have dimension 1. 11 is correct. If we go to our report designer, we can see that here. Next dimension here is all articles, and we need to switch that to the LC, local currency. And then finally we have our dimension 3, which we need to change. Let's take a look at our report designer to change that to all P&L accounts. All right, and remember to save as well. Normally this will be filled out with a macro when we click the button to start the integrator job. Then the selected elements for the dimensions would be put here. However, in this case, we want to get the data preview in our extracts, so we do need to fill out these elements. So next, let's go to the measure element. In this case, ours was input. So let's go ahead and enter that here. That's done. Our target version is prediction, which is correct. And our element version is actual, which again is also correct. Like I said before, this should be normally done with a macro in the reports, but in this case not. So go down to the target year. Here we have 2018, which is correct. We also want to check our connection, and that is localhost, which is also correct. It looks like here our system database, however, needs to be changed from AIssisted models to planning models. All right, let's go ahead and click Save. And let's check the system source cube here, profit and loss. Go ahead and click Save again. Okay, so that should be it for our variables. So now let's go check to see if we entered it all correctly. Head back to the cubes extract and the source values. Click Data Preview. It looks like we need to change our lines to preview to 50 so that we can see our 36 records, which makes sense. We have one measure here, the input, and we have 12 months over 3 years, which would give us 36 records. So everything looks correct here. Now, if we want to see our target values, we can double check here and look at data preview once again. And for this example, it should only be 2018. However, we have 3 different versions. So let's hit 50 for lines to preview. And so there we go. We have the prediction lower, and prediction upper. And that equals 36 records. Of course, we don't have any values here now. But after the job is run, the algorithm runs, this will be where those values are placed. So let's go back now to the main job, and that's a parallel job actually called main job. All the changes in the variables that were done so far were for the data preview. For the main job, all these variables come from this constant table that we set up earlier. So make sure that all of these dimensions are set accurately, correctly, spelled right, etc. And so let's go back down to the main job and click Run. Let's wait for it to run and hopefully complete successfully. Great. So now we want to go back into the report designer to see if we have data. And we're going to have to edit our view a little bit here. Pull version into the column section. Go ahead and select elements actual, and we'll want prediction upper and lower as well. Click OK and paste. All right, so we see we have our prediction and our upper and lower values, as well as if you double click into 2018, you can see that this is on a monthly basis also. Everything looks really good, and we've adapted the integrator job with the custom database. Let's take a look at our stopwatch here, see how long that took. Excellent, less than 10 minutes. Not bad at all. Great, so we hope this was a helpful video for you. If you do have any questions, please feel free to contact us at the AI team. We're happy to help you out if you run into any problems. Thanks.